Welcome to Ammi Jaan's kitchen. We call it Ammi Jaan's kitchen. Ammi means mother, and obviously kitchen is kitchen, but Jaan is where we add it to a title, as a title of endearment, of love, of devotion, somebody who you love more than life itself. So that's why it's called Ammi Jaan's kitchen. Welcome. I love to cook. I love to cook for my kids. I've cooked all their lives, and I guess pretty well half of my life, and nowadays everybody seems to be putting YouTube videos, and I love watching them. So I thought, why not share a little bit of the knowledge that I have and my passion for cooking with everybody else. So welcome, and let's start. Today I'm going to marinate steaks. These are actually good quality steaks. They don't really need to be marinated for tenderizing it. They're top sirloin steaks, which are not bad. They can be put on the grill with just a rub of salt and pepper. But we always eat steaks marinated, only because in Africa, where I was brought up, meat is always spiced up and then barbecued. And it's hard for me to imagine eating meat that's not spiced up. So we marinate our steaks. So here we go. I've got a sharp knife here. Everything is ready. These are just sirloin steaks, as I said before. And I'm going to cut some of these in half, only because I don't like a very thick steak. My good steak is typically medium well. My son, however, loves medium rare. So I always leave a couple of the steaks big, and the rest of it, we cut them in half, as the rest of us like them almost medium well. And unlike what everybody feels nowadays in eating healthy, when there's a nice piece of fat attached to a steak like this, it's delicious. So really enjoy it. And here we go. So it's very thick, as you can see. That would be a regular steak for anybody, but I prefer to cut it. So nice sharp knife. Try and cut it so you can just keep to the grain that's already there. Sometimes it's a bit awkward, but there you can see. And then just slice it through. Obviously, please watch what you're doing. And there we have. I just placed those in a bowl. And then like something like this, it's not worth bothering to cut, so I would leave it the way it is. And here we go. As these are steaks that we are going to use tomorrow, and my son's not going to be here with us, I'm pretty well going to cut them all in half. But if I was expecting him, then I wouldn't cut a couple of those in half, as I said earlier. So there we go. Again, knife has to be nice and sharp. And slice right through. I prefer to use a glass cutting board when I handle meat or chicken, only because you can put it in the dishwasher and sterilize it. Ideally, a wooden board would be perfect, but there's a lot of bacteria issues with that. So I try not to use my wooden board for meat and chicken. Always try and use a glass one that you can actually put into the dishwasher and have it sterilized. Sometimes it's a bit tricky, as you can see this one. It's not big enough piece, but it's a nice lean piece, and my daughter doesn't like fat. So I can just, as I'm cutting it, I'm already thinking in my mind who that would be for. So there you go. Nice thin pieces the way she likes them. So again, like I said, if you like your steak, medium rare, then by all means leave them the way they are. Actually, that's so much that I might just leave a couple of these and hopefully use them up next time when my son is here. So there, we've got that done. I'm just going to go wash my hands and I'll be right back. So here we are, and the next step is you've got your meat all cut up. Now it's a very simple thing. For me, the number one thing I love putting in there, that's the Indian thing, is garlic, ginger, and all the green stuff that you can see in it is chilies. What I do is I take the time, when I have some time, and get fresh garlic, fresh ginger, blend it up with olive oil to get it moving in there, and then add chilies if you want. If you don't want chilies, that's fine. And then I flat pack it and freeze it in a Ziploc bag. And then that way, whenever I want it, I just grab the amount I need. Now, those are quite a few steaks here, so that must be, I don't measure, unfortunately, but I would say it's about 2 tablespoons or more. So this is basically just garlic, ginger, chili, all mushed up. You can see, oh, it's lovely. I can smell that. So there we go. So that's going to be added. And I know a lot of people say not to put salt ahead of time in your meat, but I do like the salt blended in. This is Himalayan coarse salt. So again, I can't measure. So I'll just do this, and you can I can say maybe at the end of it. So not a lot, maybe a teaspoon for all that. This one is that typical spice that you have a Montreal Steak Spice. What I do is, instead of having it so coarse, I blend it a little bit in bullet, and there you go. So that's about a teaspoon of the Montreal Steak Spice. And then this one is a little Indian kick to it. I get this mixes from the Indian store, Fruticana or anywhere, and it's called Bihari Kabab. And basically it's the mashkaki style thing that I was talking about in Africa. And it's very strong. So just to give you an idea, I've been using this packet for almost 6 months. I use just about a teaspoon of it again. So just to give you an idea how much I would put in there. There you go. So that's about a teaspoon again. And then throw that in there. And then, of course, everybody, I'm sure, knows our good old Sriracha. That gives it a little kick. Chili, garlic, Chinese sauce. So again, you know, I'll keep a blob on one side so you can kind of get an idea. A teaspoon, give or take. And if not, a little bit more. Now, all this is perfect. However, to get them all nicely, first I just do this sort of thing. Or you can put your hands in there, whatever you feel comfortable. To get it, I think I'll have to put my hand in there. Yeah. So what you do is kind of get all that mixed up. You have to coat it all. To get good food, you have to work. So there you go. Coat all those nice spices that you put in there. And this time, I might even determine that what I put in was not enough. So this is where I add if I feel it's necessary. Like I can see the garlic, ginger is gently coating it. There's not a lot of it, because the whole idea is not to smother the meat. You want to taste the meat as well. So there you go. A little bit more here. There we are. And turn the pieces over. Feel that they're all mixed up nicely. There. And then that one. And you leave all this nice fatty stuff, because that's the best part. And a couple more. There. Now, let's see. So we're going to give it one good mix again. Make sure each piece is coated. Like you can see, this one kind of got missed. So lay it over on this side. You've got a lot of sauce on this side. Let's mix it up. Okay. Now, the only reason I'm going to add this last ingredient, and you don't have to, I like it because this is perfect. You can stop right here, and that's a good marinade for your steaks. Ready to go on the barbecue whenever you want. And really, we eat raw meat. Some people like it almost rare. So there's no harm in having a little taste of what you have mixed up, so you know you like it. It tastes nice. It's got a nice amount of salt. So you see, it took very little salt, especially the Himalayan salt. I find it goes a long way. The flavor is better. I don't know why, but it just is. I have not used regular salt for the last, I think, 2 years. Now, my last addition, because I like it, and again, like I said, you don't have to, is yogurt. So that one is a bit awkward with the hand. So I'm going to put some. I must have about a cup, or maybe a little bit more than a cup. I don't think I'll need all that. So that's a half a cup, maybe, give or take. Okay. And now let's just quickly go and wash our hands. Now we're going to... There we are. And we're going to come back with a heavier spatula and just give it a good stir. You can see that yogurt starting to mix in with the spices. There we are. You see, it's starting to coat it. You don't want it so coated that, again, that it takes away from the flavors, you know. Perfect. I like the way it looks right now. I'm happy with that. And now this is something I'm not going to use until tomorrow. It's for a barbecue for my husband and me for New Year's Eve. And we make it any other time as well. It's nothing special about it, but this is how you do it, or how we do it. And there we are. You can see each piece is nicely coated. And then when you're ready, you put it on the barbecue, and the time again depends on how you like it. A few minutes on either side for rare, a little bit more for medium rare, and a little bit longer for medium well, the way I like it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and please come again.
दिल ये बेचैन वे रस्ते पे